May the face of the Lord shine on you. May He shower His blessing on all that you do. May you never know anguish, sorrow, or strife. Dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of your life.
Howdy, I'm Sue Ellen Jackson, and this is Aware Central Texas, Effects of Child Abuse and Neglect. We're going to be talking about something that everybody experiences, and it's a 5-letter word, could have been a 4-letter word, and it's called stress. We want to talk about what stress looks like, what you do when you're stressed out, some positive things that people do and some negative things that people do. So please stay with us. It's going to be interesting. I have a very special guest with me, Diana Wilbert. Diana, welcome.
Thank
Broken,
you.
repaired ankle and all. Diana, you are a single mom.
Yes.
And you know all about stress.
Oh, yeah.
You have 2 small children. And you're pulling it off. Diana is a volunteer for our agency, Aware Central Texas, and that's how I came to know her. So what we want to do is we want to find out how Diana manages to have a full-time job, to be raising 2 adorably cute little children, and to volunteer for an agency and still have this beautiful smile on her face. So what's your secret? You are a military police, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, hello, there's stress right there. So how do you juggle everything? How do you manage? Because I know you're pulling it off.
Some people call it OCD, but to me, I'm just really organized. Is what helps me with everything. Because I do the Aware Central Texas, and I'm also really active with Girl Scouts as a volunteer. Plus, besides my regular job, and just dabble here and there, like with a variety of hobbies, getting out when I can, outdoors, just trying to keep myself busy. Because for me, and there's a lot of people I know, that if you let things bog you down, they're going to bog you down. Where if you try to keep yourself busy, steadily doing things, you know, fill those voids. Like, okay, when the kids got to go visit their dad sometimes and I'm by myself, keep myself busy, then everything doesn't start worrying me.
Yeah, I know. I was a single parent for years, and I was a college student while I was a single parent and a den mother, and my daughter was a cheerleader and in the little league thing. And I remember that the times that I was most stressed out was the times I was alone.
Yes.
Do you struggle with that too?
That's the hardest part.
Yeah, I think for me, it took me years to come to terms with keeping good company with myself, because when I wasn't paying attention to the children, the immediate needs, then I had all this space to deal with the fact that I'm a young woman sitting at home alone. And it was hard. It was hard. So when the children are gone, what do you do? What are your favorite things to do?
Well, normally it would be I'd go do running and ride bike and stuff, which that's on hold right now at the moment, but I'll still go out, relax at the lake, go fishing. And I'll do catch up on reading and music, because I like to sing and play keyboard.
Nice.
Do
you have a lot of
variety
skills.
of things.
Yeah.
And I'm a very avid gardener. Of course, it's been that's added a little stress this year with the lovely drought that we're in.
Yeah.
But it all just stuff to keep me busy. That's my big thing.
You're staying strong.
Yep.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming that you almost can't do it anymore. Do you ever reach that point? I know I did a lot as a single parent.
I've had before a little bit.
Yeah. But you're so cheerful and you're so full of life and activities. I can remember as a young single parent, it took me such a long time to get to the point that I actually enjoyed that time. So over time, I was able to not be stressed out when the children were gone, but celebrate that time. And I would do things like listen to radio station, forever long bubble bath, and just simple things like that. And over time, I grew to appreciate it.
Right.
How do I'm sure there are times when you are more stressed out than others, and being the single parent, what do you do when the children pick up on the fact mommy's stressed out? Because I know my kids, when I had to study for a final or something like that, that was their green light to go ahead and pull shenanigans.
Mine try that when they know mom's stressful. But then they'll also, when I assign them a little extra task, because even though they're little, they like to help out. And they know, like, especially like now, mommy's got an owie. They want to help out, they just have to be told, told to do so. And they love to do it.
And I have to tell you that your little ones are absolutely adorable. Diana has brought them into the office at Aware on occasion, and they are so cute. They're little, and they are so helpful. And that's a good parenting thing that you've taught your children, that work is a good ethic, and being helpful is important. So you're instilling that in your children at a very young age. So you have support. You have people around you that help you and support you and encourage you when you're down and that sort of thing.
Yes, I have a couple of really good neighbors. One of them's my babysitter that takes them to have drill for the weekend, or just with my job, because I do work the third shift.
Right.
She's always more than willing to watch them. They'll watch the house if I have to be gone an extended time. If something happens, they know they're there, and they'll be the immediate responder if something were to happen. They'll take the kids for me and help out. And then have my family, all my family's Northern Illinois.
Far, far away.
And my ex's mom has still been very active in helping them and helping me out, and she's great, and she's North Carolina, so.
Still far away. So,
but at least have some local, developing more friends between Aware and Girl Scouts. I've made a lot of great friends that way too that have also helped out.
Good. Well, bravo to you, to keeping your career going and loving those little babies, and you're teaching them good things and teaching them about volunteering, and I just appreciate you very much. I appreciate you for being here. And that was stressful, getting here because of your injured foot, your healing foot. You had to do some coordination to even get to the studio today. We're going to be hearing from Patrice. She is another lovely person that we have met through Aware Central Texas. She's one of our wonderful volunteers, and she has some encouraging words about stress as well.
Hello, how are you? I just want to take an opportunity today to talk to you a little bit about stress. I'm presently a student with the social work program at Texas A&M, and we came across several instances and situations in the military community, and we see stress in a lot of different phases: deployment, relocation, friends and family. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about some of the signs of identifying what stress looks like to you. It looks like to you may be different from me. I might typically have to read a book, go for a long walk. You can find different ways in which you are able to release stress that you have, but the main thing is to identify it. And if it really becomes increasingly, get some help. I encourage you to find a local church, clergy, pastoral, even professional help. The key thing is to be able to de-stress yourself and to be able to share with somebody what's going on in your life. I remember a time in my life when I was teaching kindergarten, and the parents had a very difficult, challenging time with one of the students because he had been diagnosed with attention deficit. This was truly a difficult time in their life, and so I encouraged them to keep a journal, encouraged them to talk to each other as husbands and wife, and share with each other what they were feeling and how they were going to handle it. Remarkably, as they began to work with each other and talk with each other, they were able to get the son the necessary help that he needed from the school system, and all is well with that family today. In my own life, I've had challenges, and I've learned that as I have committed myself personally through prayer and support from my church and my family, I was able to release that stress in my life as well. I'm just encouraging you to know, identify the signs, and once you recognize that there's something in your life that you need to share with somebody, do that with open arms, and I'm sure God will provide the necessary help that you need.
Hi, I'm Christina Clifford. I've had the privilege and honor to be part of a volunteerism for Aware Central Texas, and I've had an opportunity to be educated in a lot of different services that I did not even know that were around in our city itself, that provide a lot of information for families and children, and mentorship, and just a lot of brother sisterhood and helping others in their time of this crisis that they have in their families. It's wonderful to be a volunteer, to really help someone in need, not realizing that even a moment, a time, 15 minutes to an hour to, would just make a difference in somebody's world. And especially for the children, because when you volunteer to help children, mothers and fathers and their families, it does make a big difference. And to be there and do what we say we can do for them, to be very important to be dependable, that they have someone to depend on when they're going through these things. It just makes their future, a hope for their future. And for a volunteer, it just, it's very humbling. When things in our own lives that are going on is nothing compared to these families that have these very dramatic and events that happen in their lives. But to be able to be a part of listening to them and helping them in their spirit, health, in their body and their mind, to get them in a place where they can, they have a future, they know things are going to get better, that they have someone that can listen to them. It's very rewarding. It's very rewarding. I know that there's been things that have happened, as a young child, that have a little bit of experience, but to have had a volunteer, a person or agency to be there as another member of the family, just to be there for listening and helping with resources, and just the respect that comes with these agencies for these families, these people, that have so many needs, but the most important need is for someone to listen, to hear their voices, hear their concerns, and if there's any education that can be provided for them, it's just a big, major importance in their life, the tools that they need to help them get on the road to healing. For me, met some very, very special and extraordinary people, their children, helping with a family, being able to help them while they're going through the resources, helping with their children, just a multitude of different things that a volunteer can do in the life of these families. The children, I know when I read the quote and the statement of, for the world, one person can make a difference, but for that one person, you could be the world to them, just with your time and the resources that you have to help them along. And it's very, very important that we always help one another. And in that help, there's love. And you get much more back than you ever can imagine your time being for these families and these children. So I really just encourage everyone and anyone, even if it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes. I mean, and even we can all spare that, even in a week. It means a lot. It means a lot. And we'll start making a change of a world one person at a time and one family at a time. And these children, our children's futures, are going to be so much better off in our future.
We have another very special person here with me this day, and her name is Miss Zeta Collins. She's my stress relief at work. Zeta is our Family Services Director, and she will come in and tell us stories, not about the families that we're working with, but about her family. She has 3 rambunctious kids, and they're just lovely, wonderful kids. But she was telling me earlier today that her daughter, who just graduated from high school and is about to go off to college, when she pulled into her driveway, there was half a gallon of red paint in her driveway. And I'd say that would qualify for stress, wouldn't you?
Yes, my blood pressure went up. Yes.
That's how you know you're stressed out. That's one of the ways that you know you're stressed out. There are signs to, like for me, when I'm stressed out, I grit my teeth. And I also will pace.
Okay.
And I will do that before I'm even aware that I'm stressed out. And you put up with me every day. Can you ever tell if I'm stressed out?
Yes.
What do I do?
You're usually bubbly and funny, and
Right.
your personality changes.
Personality
You're just
change.
like, oh my God, I'm having a moment. Usually you verbalize it.
Oh,
you're
good.
like, I'm having a moment, but because you're always smiling, but when you're focused on something, I can tell you'll stop and you'll give me a minute. You'll say, Zeta, what do you need? How can I help you? But I can usually tell in your face.
Yeah, I mean, we've worked together for 3 years, and we're like really like family. She's the blonde of our office because she does the funniest things, like fall out of your truck for no reason, and just stuff like that.
Yeah.
But laughter is good medicine, and laughter is a good way to relieve stress, I think. And you are so good for me. You are good medicine.
Yes.
Because I have laughed until I have cried at some of the antics that your kids have done, and I think that probably you should be some kind of a TV comedy show. It's unbelievable. She has shown me videos of the kids dancing and just the dogs dancing and all kinds of stuff.
I just told a young lady a minute ago, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it because this right here, the light is so stressful, but I'm dealing with it.
Yes, you
it's
are.
It's a structure, so.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are. We do hear rough things, and you see people every day that are struggling and stressed and hurting, and I know that puts wear and tear on you. I know it does, but I also am able to watch you pull yourself back together and go at it again. And I would encourage everybody out there to acknowledge when you are stressed, when you're going through some kind of a stressful situation. Really be kind to yourself. When you're stressed out at home, Zeta, do the kids pick up on it?
They understand. We have open communication. So when I come home, I ask them to allow me to undress for the day and get into loungewear so that I can take the stressors from work off of me and get into a home mode. And usually I just explain to them, today was a long day. I'm going to need you guys to help me make the rest of the night run smoothly. But if it's a really stressful day for me, I'll take some time to ride around the city and just get a moment to myself and maybe go buy my favorite soda or something like that so that I won't be I won't have many anxieties when I make it home.
I love that. It's almost like there's a ritual when you come home and you change clothes, you're removing the stressors from the day, and you're starting fresh so that you can be with your kids and be attentive.
Yes.
I think that's a good way to do that. It's almost like there's a ceremony that you go through. I love that.
Everything is routine because, you know, we get up and we prepare for the day. We kind of do things by a plan, but we know plans can change. And what I try to explain to my families when they have high stress levels, when they're having anxieties or different moods, I feel that it's my job to really listen and kind of give them encouraging words and say, you have the right to feel how you're feeling. And I'm taking notes as they're talking, and I ask them, so what would you like to do first? What do you want to do? And I set very small goals along with the big goals that they have, because if they're doing something that's feasible and that they can reach right now, it's better they feel like they're accomplishing something.
I love that. And that sets up little victories along the way.
Yes.
And gives you or anybody the opportunity to encourage them, and you did it, you know, you did this one thing.
Yes.
I had in college, as a single parent, I went to one of my professors and I sat down with him and I said, Dr. Olson, I cannot do this. I am working, I'm a den mother, I've got a little girl in cheerleading, I am taking a lot of classes, and my dryer broke over the weekend and I spent the entire weekend trying to fix that. I don't think I can do this. And my professor said, yes, you can. And I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to do this? And he said, just do one thing at a time. Do what you can in this day, and don't worry about the rest. Almost like the serenity prayer.
Yes.
And I really took that to heart, and that was probably one of the most valuable things I learned in my college experience. That when you get that sense of overwhelm and you've got that sense of hopelessness, and your body is actually physically reacting to that, that's stress.
Yes.
And there are little things like what you do that you know that you like to do to help you when you're having that stressful moment. For example, you may drive around a little bit longer and give yourself time to kind of calm down and kind of regroup and just kind of be peaceful, and then maybe go get your favorite soda. Or I know for me, you know, we're nonprofit. We don't make a lot of money, so we don't have a lot of money to spend. But I do enjoy, when I'm stressed and I'm really thinking about a lot of things, I will just peruse through a store, any kind of a store, and just visually look at things. No intention of buying anything, but just that walk and looking at something different, hearing something different. And I know that's a silly little thing, but it really does work for me. It calms me down. It redirects me. It kind of helps me just kind of
take a breath. And what I like to explain to the families that we serve and the phone calls that we receive when the families are really stressed out, I have someone that say things just fall like dominoes, and it's there. I just don't know what I'm going to do next. And I explain to them, life is stressful. Life is a journey. Nobody's life is perfect. Life is supposed to be enjoyable, but there are times when you're going to have to endure certain things. So you have to sit back and you really have to take the time out and say, okay, I have to live this life as something's going to happen. I just need to be ready for it. We never know what's going to happen, but you have to be ready for what you're going to be faced with. And there are things that are very traumatic. So sometimes you just have to take a breather and understand yourself and say, sometimes I may need to step away from the situation, so that you can have a peaceful and calmness about the decisions that you're going to make in reference to it. So those are the things that I really try to explain to the family, to give themselves some structure and to give themselves some time. And I understand situations when you're a single mom or a single dad and you're raising children, you work full-time or part-time, or don't work at all, there's still days where you need to take time off to yourself and just get in a way to do things. They really don't cost much. Doing things with your family and doing things to help support yourself so that you're able to support your family. Those things give you a calming effect so that you can deal with daily life stressors.
Right, that's exactly right. And you know, one of the many things that I love about you is that you actually walk the walk. I mean, you're not going into these people's homes and throwing things out there arbitrarily. I mean, your husband is deployed. He's overseas right now. You're managing a household with 3 children and a job, a demanding job, and yet you have joy, you have laughter, you are a person that has a sense of what their limitations are, and you know when enough is enough. And that's another thing about stress. You really do need to have that sense for yourself when enough is enough. Because if you are that single parent and the kids are coming at you and you're trying to get supper and you're worried about how you're going to pay the car note, all of that coming at you at one time can be overwhelming, and the children will suffer if you're suffering. And a lot of times I know I've done it, I hate it, I wish I never had, and I'm guessing that you have probably done it too. We snap at our kids.
Yes.
And there's no need for that, because if we do like Zeta does, and set those healthy boundaries and do those quiet little things that you can do for yourself that will help you alleviate that stress.
And like you said in the beginning, laughter is good for the soul.
It is good medicine.
And everyone should have someone in their corner where where you have to have someone to talk to. So those are the things I explain to the families. I have this job, but there are some times when I need someone to let my stressors out on.
Yeah.
But
and we do that for each other. We have completely run out of time, and we are not done.
Yeah.
So we'll take this off the set and talk more later. But I love you. You're a wonderful, wonderful person, and you're an excellent case manager, and I appreciate you coming on at the last minute, which was another stressor.
Yes.
But
no
you
problem.
did it.
I did it.
May the face of the Lord shine on you. May He shower His blessing on all that you do. May you never know anguish, sorrow, or strife. Dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of your life.